Hey guys, welcome back to CN Silver Creek Sub. This is going to be part 3 of how to weather a locomotive, the basics. Part 1 was, what we do in part 1? Window gaskets. That was fun. And then part 2 we covered panel liner and how it accents all the awesome little things inside a locomotive body and shell. So that was cool. Guess why I have you here? I might as well block this out with this for a second. So this is the one I had before, and I'm gonna show you the paints I use in the booth, but here. Sure. Can you see it there? Probably not really. Huh? Here, let's go like this. I'll put it in the light. It's a lot brighter in real life in here for some reason, but there we go. So cleaned it all up nice, no more blotches. These two vents on the side of these, they get dark, but not like black. So I pulled some of that back off. Same as these vents, just enough to create a little shadow. And yeah, that's about it. The 100 logo stayed roughly the same. It did make it pop a little bit more because it gets into the hinges and those, like right there into that latch in the middle of the zero. Just little stuff like that. That's all. Yeah, and the lines back here, you couldn't see those before, and up in here you couldn't see that, so no, just a little bit, just enough that after it's weathered it brings it to life just a little bit more and gives it some depth. So that was the end of part 2. All right, so now we're gonna go into the booth. But before we get to the booth, here's what I'm gonna use for this project. I'm gonna get lots of criticism on the airbrush side of this because I am in no way a veteran when it comes to an airbrush. I've been airbrushing for maybe a year and a half now, from first just blasting trucks with a little bit of dirt and no clear coat or anything over top to where I am now. So any tips or tricks that I'm missing, and just the little things that you can't read anywhere, if anybody wants to give those to me, help me out with that, that'd be great, especially when it comes to this stuff. I don't know a lot about it. A couple of my buddies in the hobby said that they swear by lacquer paint for your clear coat because it leaves a nice protective covering over top, which sustains handling the fuel tank, going into boxes, the clamshells, all that kind of stuff. So I just started diluting it probably 2 months ago. I didn't know you had to, because, like, how would you know? So now I do probably 3 parts to 1, like the lacquer paint to the thinner. So like everything else in the world, I've realized that every paint has its own thinner that goes with it. So that's for that. I'm going to use semi-gloss clear because I'm not going for a brand new look. It kind of diffuses the vibrance of the shell a little bit, but not a lot. Clear kind of just goes right clear over top, right? Obviously clear. So that's what we're going to use to seal this up when we're done. Some people, I think, seal it like off the bat, and you can do that, but that panel liner, if it's on anything than a super smooth surface, as one guy commented in the comments, I should have brought this up. If you try to use panel liner on something that's not like a factory locomotive, it's not going to work very well. It's just going to catch all the ripples and bumps in. Like if you dull coat it or spray it with something like that, it will catch in there and make a mess. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, some people like to spray like a dull coat on or a layer on before they do this step. All the power to them. I don't do it personally. I'll use clears in between my layers. Like instead of the semi-gloss, I'll use a clear gloss if I'm getting into more in-depth weathering projects with layer, or like painting a half a locomotive to show the fade or stuff like that. Then I'll do a clear coat in between those. But again, this is just basic weathering. So I'm not going to touch the unit until it's done and seal it up with this. Mixed 3 parts paint, 1 part thinner, give or take, because I just dump her in the hopper. I know you're not supposed to do that, but again. And then I'm going to use these 4 colors here. These are Vallejo paints. They're water-based acrylics. They're not overly expensive. I like them. I've been using them for a while. My girlfriend at the time got me a starter set for Christmas because she's like, "Oh, you like doing trains? Here." It's kind of thoughtful. And that's where I started. So what I use is, I have 3 different browns I use as a base. This is earth brown. It's a little bit of a lighter of the browns. Excuse me. And then I'll mix it with, generally I mix it with a gray. It doesn't matter what gray, honestly. So probably 10-1, something like that, and that'll give you that rail tie kind of dirt brown. I'll also mix a couple of drops of black into it to give it that more dark dirt that you see on some locomotives. And then I'll also use this. This is just orange rust, and I'll put some drops of this in it. And by combining these two together, I can do that kind of, I don't know what it is. On a lot of GE road units, there's, especially on CNs, because of that white stripe, you can see it's almost like, it's not a rust, but it's almost like, I don't know if it's exhaust that gets pulled down through the, like through the car body and then gets blown up through the traction motor. I don't know what it is, but it almost looks like a fuel or a diesel exhaust. So it could be rust coming off the wheels too. I have no idea what it is, but they get kind of a little orangey streak back there, mixed in with the brown, obviously. So that's the colors I use. That's my intro to that. Never mind those, I'm going to paint those derails here shortly for the club. So that's what that is. That's that. So I will go over, or set up at the spray booth here, and the first thing we're going to do is with our NATO Black, who I use NATO Black instead of Black. It's a little more diffused, it's not as vibrant. So I use it for the grills, and then I use it for my base around the exhaust. So, what else did I find? Oh, the prototype, 3234 here. I searched up a video for us to reference it to. It's got some nice heavy, thick road grime up here, and then I don't know about this side, but the other side, they wiped the almost said swore on YouTube. They wiped the dirt off the numbers, so they went. So we're gonna try and do that in here too. It's pretty easy, I'm sure, without making a mess. So we'll give her a go anyway, and I'll head over to the spray booth, and we'll see you there in a second. Hey guys, here we are in the spray booth. That fan, the exhaust fan's kind of loud, so I'll try and talk slowly and clearly into the microphone. I'm not going to be able to talk to you and spray at the same time, obviously. I don't think. So, first thing I'm going to do is grab that NATO Black, load it in my hopper, and then I'm going to spray those 2 black grills in the back. And we'll just do a quick little how-to on that. And then I'll probably dust the top as well. I usually dust the top with black, even on black, because it nulls it down, nullifies a little bit. And then maybe a light far away spray on the top of the roof, just to make that white not so white. So here we go. Well, that didn't work out the greatest. My arm was in the way for most of it. So I'll try to get you a better angle for the next one. But here we are, the 2 vents on the back. So that's all I do. I just try to airbrush them the best I can, making sure I fill all the red space in there. And then I'll go back in with the micro brush and some mineral spirits, because the mineral spirits won't react with the panel liner. So, and then just a light coat on the top, focusing around here. As you can see, it's a little bit thicker in there, or I'll lift you up in the air. So see where the shine came off a little bit, and that's all I did. Nothing too crazy because they're still pretty new. And then just a light dust along the top, the cab roof. You can kind of see the black on it, but not a lot, and that's what we're going for here. Just, you know, if they go through a tunnel or they underneath some trees or something like that, it'll fall down quicker. So just light speckling. That's all it is. Nothing too heavy. And then I went around the trucks just because I have more paint in my hopper and it doesn't hurt. So that's all. All right, well, I'll get you, I'll clean that up, square it off all nice, and then we'll go back over to the spray booth for the trucks, the fuel tank, and up along the cab there. Okay guys, first color I'm going in with is this guy, just straight out of the bottle. Just a light little dusting around the bottom, and then the basic shape. So the way dirt flows in these units is it doesn't touch the front of the cab, but goes up the side to the number boards and then back down here. It's kind of the way the airflow goes from the traction motors and the way the wheels create draft. So it's kind of the shape that goes like this. And back here it's just kind of underneath. Sometimes it concentrates around here, but on this guy it's mostly just easy weathering, light dusting of a couple colors to here, and then a little heavier up through that flow area, and then light dusting around the front and rear. So that's where we're going to go for this one. Okay, it's turbo time. So this was just the basic, what color was this? Dark earth, that's what this is. It's just around the bottom, like I'm doing here. The plow a little bit, and then the back. It's just kind of, this is like the very basic dust. So that's what we're gonna do first here. And now this is that dark earth mixed with, I guess, 2 parts probably. Maybe 10 to 2, I guess, of like a light gray. So this is kind of like the accent that goes on. It's on the lower level, usually the trucks, usually from sand, I'm guessing, or ballast dust, whatever it is. So, and now we're into, it's moving too fast for me. Now we're into the dark earth mixed with some of that oxide to try and give the dark behind it. And now we're into the dark earth mixed with the gray again. That's what I went back to here. It's hard to remember. All right, so there we have it. Gonna be honest with you, kind of messed this one up a little bit. It's still it's still great. It's just it's not. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and the rust color was too heavy on it. I am happy with the little rust, like I guess that diesel exhaust that's just behind the trucks. I love that they all get that. So it turned out for the best, I guess, the big picture, but it wasn't what I was going for. And this happens. I guess it happened a lot in the beginning. I think it happened today with me because I'm trying to do the video at the same time, but like I'm still happy with it. It's a basic leathering job and it looks great. So we're gonna seal it up and then we'll put it back in the normal light and we'll see what it looks like. And this is just the Tamiya lacquer semi-clear. So I filled my hopper 2 parts with this, 1 part thinner, and then I give every unit a full hopper. Yeah, so here it is. Masking tape's off the cab. It always looks better. Why is the light so weird here? The colors are all off. Anyway, that's it. I wish the camera lighting was better because this doesn't look near as good as it does in person. You got your basic mud splash up the side, nothing too crazy. A little bit of dirt on top. You still see our little panel liner marks, which is nice. We got our little vents painted at the back. The back end's all nice and clean. Looks good. Not clean, but it's all squared up nice. Right? A little bit of dirt hanging down off the rad section. And that's it. She's just a basic, muddy, road grime Jevo. You don't know paint failure, no nothing. And that's it. This is like the most basic weathering job I could have done. So yeah, use what you learned here and apply it, make it better, you know, try it out. Not everyone turns out great. Honestly, this side here isn't the way I wanted it. I think trying to do it while making a video isn't, I don't know, just kind of got lost in it, to be honest with you. And then the kids are going to bed and yada, yada, yada. So it's, you know, a little rushed, I guess, if I took my time to really make it, but who has that kind of time? But anyway, this is how you can weather up a Jevo or a road unit on your own. And here's an example too, like that mud's a little heavy for what the prototype is heavy, but it's not what I had envisioned in my mind. But it still looks great, right? So the first couple times you do this, if you go a little heavy, it's okay. Just make sure you keep it in this, that wavy formation, because all it has to be is plausible. You can go rail fan this engine in a couple months, like as it goes to near spring, it'll look just like this. You wait till those ties start pumping mud up and it splashes up and goes over it. These things get soaked, they get dirty, they have these marks and they don't have these marks. So don't get too hung up on the amount of dirt that's on something. Now, when it comes to like excessive diesel exhaust or paint failure, you know, or like the color of the roof, you know, or a different plow, or if there's a burn mark back here, like those things are prototype specific and they won't change very often over the course of 6 months. But when it comes to mud up like this, they all get like this. If you look at the M-2s, half of them for some reason are like black like this. Like it's not even brown anymore. It's just black and it's up here. You see like 8830 looks like that, and then you find 8831 and it's clean as a whistle. So like what gives? This kind of stuff goes on and off a lot faster than you think. So, you know, it's good to have dirty ones. It's good to have ones that are super clean. This one turned out a bit more dirty because I was trying to do something fancy that didn't work for you guys, and I had to, you know, cover it up. But it's still plausible. It still looks good. It's still look great coming down the track. And those window gaskets just look awesome. That black ring right there, just, I don't know what it is. It makes it all come together. In my opinion, anyway. Again, this is all for me. So this is how I do it. It's how I view things. Anyway, guys, that's all for this one. This is the basics of how I weather a locomotive. So until next time, cheers and happy modeling.